Live show episode number 92. We've got entrepreneur Brent Brown in the house tonight. How you doing, brother?
Doing well. How are you doing, Ed?
Good, man. It's been so long since I've seen you, so I was glad we could do this.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So obviously you're in the States now, right? That was one of the questions I wanted to ask you. Yeah, I didn't even know you left, bro. What's going on? When did this happen?
I live in the United States 3 months of the year, and then I live here back and forth in Taiwan 3 months of the year, and then US 3 months of the year.
Okay, so you back and forth 3 and 3. That's pretty cool. When did you go back to the States? Kind of before the whole COVID mess, or?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I've been back, twice to Taiwan since COVID started. So I've had to self-quarantine twice. But so my wife and I together were back and forth every 3 months, and we've pretty much mostly kept that up. So we should have come back already to Taiwan, but just with the COVID lockdowns and all that stuff, we decided to wait probably until August. We'll see what's going on.
Yeah. I think right now July is it's a weird month. They just announced today that they're going to be able to reopen some things, but it's all hearsay right now. I mean, they're like restaurants can open, restaurants can't open. I don't really know. I mean, I don't really want to be the one to open on the first day, and I don't know. It's tough. I mean, the numbers are low. It's I think today was like 18 or 17 new cases, something like that. So it's really low. But yeah. I mean, I don't mind waiting another week or two just to make sure it's kind of, if we can flatline down to zero before we open, that'd be great. Yeah. Obviously, income sucks, compared to what it usually is. So it's kind of like, double-edged sword. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it gives you a little bit of a break, I guess. I mean, kind of. I mean, you're still doing a lot of deliveries and all that, right? But
yeah, well, it's tough to say break because we've been doing a lot of deliveries. I've been delivering personally a lot too. My God, all over the place. We've been doing tamales. We've been doing just a whole bunch of stuff, man. I mean, we had our own online ordering system just built last year when COVID sort of hit the world. We built that, and then we didn't really finish it. It was about 98% done, and then nothing really happened here until 2 months ago. Then 2 months ago, I messaged my developer, and I'm like, how far are we away from finishing? And he said, I need about 3 days. I said, man, I need it done like now. So let's go. So we worked it. We just went live. I tested with a few friends, and then I said, okay, we can turn it on for the public. And my wife was like, no, we need to test more. And I was like, no, let's just go. Trial by fire, open it up. We'll apologize for the mistakes and we'll send freebies, but we got to do it. So that's actually helped us a lot, man. It's weird. It's almost like a new business. The first month of this was, 3 times the amount of work for like half the income.
Yeah.
But it's like starting a new business, but actually now it's not too bad. It's okay there. I mean, the income still is not fantastic, but we're kind of used to it. Things are good. We had to clear out a few, staffing issues and stuff. We had to fizzle out a few people, and they actually wanted to go on their own, which was great because there was a couple people that were really dragging ass, and you can really see it, when things are kind of struggling a little bit. So it was good, man. Yeah, it's good. How about you, brother?
Probably strengthens your business in some ways too, like the online ordering, something you didn't get done, but now you're going to come back bigger, better, and stronger. So that's good, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I put it on the back burner for about a year. And then I'm like, maybe this summer when it slows down, I'll actually do it. And then it just kind of business stopped, and we're like, let's go. We got to go. So I've been delivering personally to like Beito and like Nehu. We shipped tamales to Kaohsiung. It's been crazy, man.
Oh, nice.
It's been crazy.
Well,
it's been crazy.
Comfort foods. That's nice.
Bro.
Well, yeah, for me, so I have the all cardio fitness centers, and those are coin operated cardio centers with treadmills and recumbent bikes. So gyms. And I had to shut them down with the businesses. So, there you got it. So, sorry.
Yeah, I got to do it, man. I had to throw the logo up there. It's a nice logo, man. It's a nice logo. But keep going. So you brought this sort of 24-hour fitness idea to Taiwan. I believe you're the first, right? I haven't seen this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as I know, there's
I know,
Anytime Fitness here, and they're 24 hours. But I was here before they were. I opened before they did. But mine's different. It's all cardio fitness, and because it's all cardio, I don't have any weights. And the reason why I did that was because I wanted to be 24 hours, 7 days a week, and I wanted to have limited staff. If you have weight equipment in your in your gym, then then you have to have a trainer on staff at all times. So
okay,
I don't know how Anytime Fitness gets away with it, but I don't know if you remember that case in Taichung. There was a World's Gym.
I do.
And the manager and the assistant manager were doing whatever. They were gone, not in the place or something. I don't know. And a guy was bench pressing a pretty heavy weight, and it, lost control, fell on his neck, and he died. And they ended up going to jail for I don't remember how long, maybe 6 months.
Okay, I didn't know they went to jail.
They ended up getting jail. So for negligent whatever. So that's the rule in Taiwan, is you have to have somebody. And so I don't want to go to jail if somebody.
Of course.
And if you have to have somebody on staff 20, that just obviously would quadruple my overhead costs. So, so I thought, you know what, I've worked in the gym industry and ran gyms for so long. I was thinking, I'd say probably 60% of the people that come to a gym never touch the weights anyways. They just go, like women and certain people that aren't at that level of fitness yet, go straight to the cardio equipment. So I thought, you know what, so I'm going to lose 40% of the whatever, but there's still 60% of the people that sometimes people want the option. So I figured statistically, there's still a lot of people that would work out with mine, and they wouldn't care if I have equipment. And for the amount of money I would save, I didn't need those extra people anyways. So that was.
I think it's actually a really good concept. I mean, going back to the World Gym thing, I actually go. There's a World Gym up the street here, and obviously it's closed right now, but that's where I like to go exercise. And there are times, man, where they always have trainers and people walking around all the time. But there are times when, you just feel that little bit better, and you put that extra heavy weight on there, and, you get a few on there, and you're up here, you got your bench at the top, and you're like, I think I can squeeze one more out. And then you get up there, and then you're like, bam, it's on your chest. I've been there, man. It's actually scary, man. It's actually scary because you got it on your chest, and you're kind of like, you're looking around. Nobody cares. Nobody's looking. I mean, it's just like, even if you call people over, you're like, hey, people walks by, I'm like, hey. And no one says anything. So all I had to do was sort of roll the bar down the rib cage, on the gut, and then kind of down to the leg, to the thighs, and then scoot out from under it. And I mean, the next day, from my chest all the way to my gut would just be blue, and it's tough, man. So I can see that what you're doing. It's great, because to be honest, I mean, whenever we travel, we go to a hotel or anything, they always have. I mean, no one really touches the dumbbells or anything. It's all treadmills and elliptical trainers and all that stuff, right? So, yeah, it makes sense, man. So you brought this concept. You decided to cut out sort of the weights. And how did it work out for you, man?
It's okay. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, I've had the business for 7 years now. I mean, I work, for another company. So it's really kind of a side gig. It's a coin operated cardio center. So I have each piece of cardio has a timer on it, and then and they're connected to the timer, and then we use tokens, and each token gets you 21 minutes. So
how does that work? So you have to pay a membership, or you just go in, no membership?
It's like Tom's World, right? I mean,
I love that
like,
place.
Think of an arcade, right? So when you walk in, you come in the door, you go upstairs, and then you put you can buy 2 tokens for $100, or you can buy 40 tokens for $1,000. So you put it in, and it gives you 40 tokens. I have little bags with all cardio fitness printed on them that can hold 40 tokens, and
that's amazing.
Small velvet bags, or when I run out, I go buy some more, and so people have something to put them in, and then you go to the machines, and you can go treadmills, recumbent bikes, regular seated bikes, elliptical trainers, steppers, any of those, and then each token you put in a token, it'll get you 21 minutes.
Really? That's and this was something that was done in the States before, or did you come up with this idea?
No, my sign, it's a world's first coin operated cardio center. You can't find anywhere else in the world. I'm the only one that have done it. And so that's amazing. I have a patent on the kind of the process for adding time and tokens and connecting the cardio together. So I actually have a patent on that.
So let's say it's midnight. I want to go for a run on I want to go on a treadmill or something. I just go in, but get some tokens, and I can go in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's no one on staff. It's just there. Yeah.
One of the things I was thinking of, you have a lot of runners, and when Taiwan, when it rains, or if it's super hot, and sometimes you want to get out of the heat, or they want to get out of the rain, so you can come buy 40 tokens, and a runner could come in just 20 times a year. They don't have to come in all the time. You just buy 40 tokens. You can spread it over 3 years if you want. So it's kind of a real nice so we get some real runners in there, and you can tell on the rainy days, that definitely treadmills are full of runners.
Okay. Yeah. an amazing concept, man. Wow. So you've been running that. That's been going for 7 years, but you said you don't actually have to be there. Nobody has to be there.
Well, think of a
really.
laundromat. If you own a laundromat, basically the machines run, people go in, put their clothes in, take their clothes out. Yeah. So nobody has to be there. I have closed circuit cameras. And I need to clean it up, and I need to stop by and collect money and make sure tokens are in there and make sure the equipment's not broken. So I can do that a couple times a week. It's very low maintenance.
Amazing, man. Yeah. That's a pretty good gig, man. Wow. I mean, for me with the restaurant, it's like you were talking about, taking breaks and stuff, but we've actually been, there's this one fly buzzing me all day. We actually, I think I'm working more now, because, we have less staff and I'm doing deliveries, and the social media, marketing is in full swing, and it's kind of crazy. I've been working, I think, more. It's crazy working more for about half the income. It's kind of a nutty experience. I mean, I can't complain too much because the States, they shut down for what, like a year and a half, almost, something like that. Canada, the US, they all shut down for a long time, right? I mean, we're on 2 months, and everybody's like, no, which is crazy. 2 months is nothing compared to the rest of the world. Yeah.
It's very little. And Taiwan's getting, I know what they peak out at, pushing 500 a day. So now they're back
about to 500 a day. Yeah.
So, hey, they got it under control. Nobody else was really able to do it. So it's great.
Yeah. My only worry is, if they open up too early and then it kind of spikes again. So I obviously, what is it? July 13th, they should be, I think we're allowed to open again, but I'm kind of, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, some people are saying, yeah, you can. Some are saying, no, you can't. Certain businesses, I mean, they start to reopen night markets, which is kind of a surprise. Yeah. Night markets are kind of the busiest places on the island. Yeah. That's a little scary, actually, because it just takes one night market to explode and we're all shut down again, right?
It goes there again. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So that's a bit scary. Yeah.
I'm allowed to open too. I haven't decided. It's kind of, I think they said you can open at 80% or something, or 30%. I can't remember, one or the other. It's low. And I'm like, because there's nobody there, I don't really have much control over it if I'm going to have it open 24/7. So people could really come in and they could be packed at 8, and I might get some huge fine because I'm.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Could you possibly get fined for that? It's possible, I guess. Yeah.
Well, not only is it possible, it's probably probable. I mean, I think they're running around getting people for masks and everything. So I might stay closed anyways.
Okay.
So just to wait.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, I agree. I think me and my wife were talking about it. We're thinking, should we open right away? Should we hold on a few more days just to see how it goes? I don't know, because I think most people are people are struggling, so people are going to open as soon as they can. But I don't know. It's a little bit scary because we don't really want to spike again. So I don't know. We're still on the fence about opening, man.
Yeah. Well, I hope the teachers get to go back to work. I have a lot of friends who are teachers, and they're having so they're not opening the schools necessarily at the time they're opening the restaurants and the gyms and stuff. So that's too bad, because I know some people, hopefully especially with the pandemic, hopefully people were putting some money away, but some people probably weren't. They were doing paycheck to paycheck, and now here they are finding themselves in some really tough spots.
A lot of people definitely were living paycheck to paycheck. I know a lot of businesses that were kind of scraping by and shutting down for 2 months kind of just put them out. I mean, for us, like I said, I'd say we're about 50%, and we're still able to kind of coast through it, but it's a bit of a bummer because things were going so well, and then you get a little bit of a savings kind of going, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like blip, 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 and it's a bit of it's a huge bummer, actually, because I wanted to go home this summer. Obviously, that didn't happen. Now I know a lot of people that did go back. And now when they come back here, they need to rent special hotel rooms, quarantine hotels, and they have to, anybody over 12 has to get their own room. And the rooms apparently are really expensive, man. Like, it's crazy. A friend of mine, his wife is coming back with their baby, and they just got a place, and 2 weeks is going to be $90,000. So
wow,
that's I mean, they probably got a premium one, but that's still crazy. Yeah.
It's going to be awesome if you're a 14-year-old though. Could you imagine?
Exactly. Yeah. You're like,
computer video games for 2 weeks, no parents. It's like,
exactly.
So I didn't know that. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that was kind of a new thing. So I think that's helping with the spiking and stuff like that, the numbers. So we'll see, man. I mean, I'm pretty optimistic. I think that we'll get it going we'll get things under control. They kind of did, like today, I think was 17 or 18. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, man. Yeah.
Well, I missed what started the spread this time anyways. I knew there was one time the doctor or whatever at the hospital, but what started this
one? I believe this one was it was either pilot. I think there was a few pilots. Pilots didn't get, they only had 1 or 2 days for quarantine. So, they only quarantined a little bit. I believe they went, I don't really know, obviously, but the story is they went to some of those tea houses, right? Some of those, like, basically went to Hooker Street. And then I guess at the same time they went, there was a group of, I believe it was the Lions Club. They had some big party at like Hooker Street. So they all kind of got together, and then these, I get the pilots brought the virus in, and then all these guys got it, and then it was just an explosion, and they couldn't catch it. And the problem is, I think they would have been able to catch it, but mostly it was dudes cheating on their wives, right? So they're not coming out to say, hey, It was me. I was there with the hookers, right? So it was kind of a crappy situation, and these dudes, I don't know if they eventually fessed up, but I mean, nobody wants to be like, hey, I was down the street with the hookers, but me, my buddies and the hookers, right? I mean, that's not something you want to say. Yeah, I mean, so they kind of messed it up for everybody. Yeah. But
was that the New Zealand? That wasn't the New Zealand pilot, was it?
The New Zealand one was I would say 6 months ago. They got that one going. They caught that one pretty good, man. That one was okay. A couple of weeks and we're back to normal. Yeah. We didn't have to actually shut down for that. Yeah.
I think it's unbelievable that pilots, what do they do? And flight cabin crew is like 3 days or 4 days.
3 days, man. Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
It really, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, I can see the pilot, like, lock them in the cabin, don't let anybody else in, they can go back and forth, but the flight crew who's, mingling with everybody and handling everybody's stuff, it's unbelievable. So
yeah, it really is.
I understand as a flight attendant, but I mean, they weren't running that many flights. It seems like there must have been some ways around it. So
it's I believe, that's what was in the news. I'm not 100% sure, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
but I heard that they were doing that they were very limited restriction. I think that's unbelievable that they were allowing that.
I mean, before, I wanted to get back on track and talking about you a little bit more. I know that you've been doing your entrepreneur thing for a while. I know that we were just chatting about that and you love it. So what got you started in wanting to become an entrepreneur, start your own business or try your own thing?
Oh, probably same thing that drives everybody else. I've been in the gym industry and fitness industry my whole life and was managing gyms and running gyms. And when you're doing that, you're really taking care of the business. They'll put you in as a general manager of a gym and you run all the departments and make sure the money's coming in. And then, at some point, I moved here to Taiwan working for World's Gym and
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, that's what brought me here. So I worked that's how I first got here and worked in Taichung for the first year and then came up to Taipei for a few years. That's when I'd see you out at Danshui. I also lived out in Danshui
man.
for a year. So back when I think you were the only Western restaurant out in Danshui at that time, if I remember right.
Probably, yeah. I mean, that's so we started this it's been about 15 years, man. It's been crazy. Mm-hmm. So like I'm saying, going back to the COVID, it's kind of going up and, at the beginning, business sucks. People think, it's easy and, the first few years are tough. And this business took us a little longer than we thought to actually get to the point where we'd be like, okay, this is good now, finally. And then, we hit that a couple of years ago, maybe last year, I'd say was great. And then this year was turning out really good. And then all of a sudden, shit happens, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it comes back stronger. Like I said, your online stuff, hopefully more people find you. And so, and I think I must have been at your first restaurant there in Detroit, at least probably within a year or two after you opened. So, anyways, that's when I came out and I was working for World's Gym at that time and, did that for a few years. And then I ended up finding a really nice location in Taichung. So, kind of got some investors and we're going to come down here and open a really nice big gym. And then a really big one. But that ended up kind of falling through for various reasons. But then I ended up starting another gym with a partner here in Tainan. And we had 5 gyms and then sold my shares, got out and then opened these. So that's it. I guess what drove me to do it is just wanting to be my own boss and not having, That's a bit just being my own boss and making some more money and being kind of in control of your finances and your money stream.
How did it differ? Everybody, for example, thinks, oh, I'm going to do this and I can run my own thing. Was it different than what you thought it would be, actually being the guy who was doing everything? Or was it kind of what you thought?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, what's different is you don't just open a business and rolling in dough. That's what you think's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what everybody thinks. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I figured, obviously with the cardio centers, I don't do a lot of work. With the gyms before that I partnered in, we opened, but then I was a minor partner. So that kind of sucked too, because it ended up being more their vision than mine. So ultimately I've kind of run businesses and done this for a while. On the one I have now, it's not my main bread and butter winner. And then on that one, I was a minority partner. So really I had a boss in a way. The majority partner is the boss. So, I mean, I've been a business owner and all that stuff, but in different capacities. And so I wouldn't say I've owned my dream business yet. So I guess there's that, right? It's not all glamour, and it's not always, hey, you start something and you're making some money and tons of money in the bank from just that. So,
yeah. Well, I know a lot of people think that, like, especially when they come here on like a Saturday night, it's packed, everyone's drinking, everyone's eating, and they're like, oh my God, you must be rolling in it. But they don't see that long road to get there. I mean, Dan Shui, we started with the stand, then the little restaurant, and then the little one in Tianmu, and then this one. And I mean, it's a long road, man. It's a really long road. But I think something like what you did, where your overhead is lower, I think that's a smart thing to do, man. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, you tell me. I mean, how did that work out? You're saying that's kind of like a side gig, like a side hustle for you, which is incredible, because obviously business owners, that's their dream, is to have a business and be sipping Mai Tais on the beach while the money's coming in. But it doesn't really work like that for most businesses. But you're saying that with your coin operated fitness, cardio fitness, all cardio fitness, it's I wouldn't say, I mean, I'm not saying it's that, but how close is it? It sounds close. It sounds pretty close. Closer than me, anyway. Yeah.
I think it has a lot more potential. And at one point, I mean, I pushed it further along. But what I found is you have to maintain. So because they're small enough, they do have low overhead and the rent's not too bad. But I mean, you have a landlord for every location you go to. And landlords are, I mean, they're so different. Like, you have really good ones, you have really bad ones, you have ones that are trying to screw you, ones that think you're great. You're managing, and the more landlords you have, the more relationships you're handling, and they're real high maintenance. Some of them, they think they're God's gift to whatever. And so, I've at one point had 5 of them. I'll give you an example. I think this is something that every business owner should hear. So on our 5th location, we had a really, basically a guy who owns a training club. He had a first one and he was opening a second one, and he came to us and said, hey, why don't you guys partner with me? Why don't you guys do all cardio fitness and I'll do my thing? And we went and looked at the location, and it was right next to I guess it's a Poya. No, it's not a Poya. I can't remember the name of it. So where you go buy really nice household goods and stuff. But there's a McDonald's, a Starbucks, a Kentucky Fried Chicken, and something else in the area. So it was really good. I mean, we were one block, we were just the next block over from McDonald's, and we were right on the street. And it was a big thing, but it was kind of like a flag lot kind of thing, where you kind of have this thinner entrance and then it spreads out in the back. So we convinced him to give us the front part, and so people walk through ours first and come do cardio, and then his trainers can come walk the floor. And, I mean, we're not going to be there, so his trainers can come off the floor and take people off the floor, take them back, and sell them personal training.
That's perfect. They could just upsell them, right? That's beautiful. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, we paid our rent, and he could come in and work the floor and take people and back and sell them. So thought it was a good deal. But we subleased from him. And on the lease, he signed that it said he was allowed to sublease. So we saw that, and so we signed. What did we sign? A 7-year lease. Yeah. Oh, so I mean, we built everything. We redecorate it. We have this way we like to build it. So easy to clean the walls and everything, and the colors. Put new floor on, bathroom. Bought the equipment, put it in, new lighting, everything. So you have your build outs and your equipment cost and everything. And so about 6 or 7 months in, he's like, hey, my business isn't doing so well. He goes, I'm gonna have to set this up, and I'll give you your first and last month back. And we're like, hey, we signed a 7-year lease. So yeah, that's not gonna fly with us. And then So eventually he moved out and we refused to move out. And then the landlord, came in and she was having trouble with him getting the money and all that stuff. And at one point she said, you just stay in your walls and leave it alone. And I think one of the workers, when they were tearing his place down, rammed a forklift through our wall and it knocked our coin thing down and dented it real bad.
Holy shit. Okay.
So
wow.
This was the beginning of what ended up being a nightmare. So and then it got to the point where she wanted us out. So she cut our power off and we put it back on. We snuck in again and called the police. We called the police. I think we ended up having the police there 3 or 4 times. And she cut off our plumbing, which we couldn't get going again. So we ended up not having a bathroom for quite a while. So I think we ran that way for about 6 or 7 months until she just got tired of it. And basically what we wanted her to do, we told her, you have to write us a letter kicking us out and telling us why you're kicking us out, because we have to sue Wayne, who has this other place. We need to sue him. And we can't sue him unless we're kicked out. Nobody's kicking us out. You guys, it's going to look like we're leaving voluntarily. And she refused to give us that. I think they may have been related. I don't know. I think so.
At
least they hugged. They hugged. So, anyways, so she never did. And then eventually, no court order ever came. And then we came back and they came in with the forklift and everything, tore down our walls, everything, put our equipment back in a container in the back and locked it up. And that's it. So, we'd already gotten a lawyer involved quite a bit earlier because we saw where it was going. And that's it. So we did a criminal report. We did a case on that. We ended up running, we had a case. They refused to see it. A second one, they refused to see it. And then we appealed it. They refused to see it. And then we did a civil case for lawsuit for damages and everything. So we lost the first one. And there's so many little side things that you go on about drama and what happened. Like our lawyer was terrible. I mean, and then at the end, she's like, oh, sorry, big mistake. I mean, I don't know how this could happen because your case was so obvious. And we're like, what? So we lost. So finally, I just, when I was done, rather than use her again to appeal, I took it to another lawyer and he appealed and we did end up winning. We ended up winning, settlement, not nearly as much as we should have, not as much as we put into it, but sizable enough. And then we got a letter from her lawyer saying she's broke. She doesn't have any money. She doesn't have a penny to her name. So now we'll have to spend the next, I don't know, probably she's 60 some years old. We'll probably spend the next 15, 20 years checking her account every year, see if she's got any money or anything we could take. My guess is she's going to stay penniless until the day she dies. Everything will be in her daughter's name and her husband's name. And so that's how a lawsuit goes here, by the way. So.
Oh, I know. So we actually, I've had good landlords. I've had bad landlords. It's landlords it's rough. I mean, my first Dan Shui landlord, they lived like right behind us, right? Like, so it was connected. The buildings were connected. Our front was that and theirs was like that. Yeah. And so, we just kind of go around to pay the rent. And she did a jewelry store. It was a jewelry store. So every time we'd go and pay rent, she'd be sitting there talking to customers, drinking tea and, selling jewelry or whatever. And she'd always be like, oh, you guys got an easy job. I have to sit here and sell jewelry all day. You guys just do nothing all day. And I'm just like, are you serious? Like, I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't want to argue with you. Just here's the rent, So many times, you pay the rent. There was one time where, so we were kind of at the corner in Dan Shui, right? And there was kind of like a sewer. It kind of got plugged or something. Yeah, and it was outside the restaurant, right? And so something was kind of like coming over, and so we couldn't get it sorted. Called the landlord. The landlord's like, "Oh, you guys got to fix it." I'm like, "It's the sewer. It's not even my house, right?" So she came, and then there were some customers eating, and she needed to scoop some shit out of the sewer. And she comes into the restaurant, looks around, grabs one of our plates, right? And she just starts scooping gunk with one of our plates, right? And I'm just like, just looking at it. You can't really believe it. You can't really believe that they would do that. And at the end, she's like, oh, where should I put this? I'm like, I'm not, that's yours now. I mean, you think I'm going to use that for food again? Like, are you nuts? And she's just like, okay. So she just chucks it. And there was so many, like, that's just one story. This lady was nuts. I mean, the landlord we have here currently is all right. I mean, it's not too, it's pretty decent. My house landlord right now is pretty fantastic. The landlord that we had at the other location, the other Eddies that we closed about a year ago, that one was, I mean, he was all right, but the neighbors were awful. So anytime there was a neighbor problem, the landlord would be like, whatever you want, man, you want to leave, just leave. And you're just like, wow, it's pretty crazy, man. It's the whole situation is, it's crazy. It's almost like roll of the dice when you find a place, because when you're looking at a place, every landlord's like, yeah, we'll take care of you. We love foreigners. Right. Mm-hmm. And then, you pay your first month and your last month and all that stuff. And then you see the real person, but landlords are rough, man. It's a roll of the dice for sure.
Well, and the more getting your apartment is one thing as well, but getting a business is different. They seem more involved. They're really watchful of what you're doing. And, so, I mean, I've had probably half of my landlords have been okay. Well, less than half. A couple of them have been really good. And then half of them are just like the 80-20 rule, right? Probably like 20, probably more. 20% are good, 20% are awesome, 60% somewhere in between. But I could just go through all sorts of stuff. And I always get screwed. I always get screwed on the lease.
Yeah, for sure.
Somewhere. So one thing you didn't find out, like, hey, they threw water in here, and you're like, or they throw something in that they didn't tell you they did. But anyways, so that's one of the reasons why I didn't spread. I didn't keep going. And then when that happened, I kind of took the wind out of my sails, and I just kind of stopped putting everything into that, thinking, you just, when I hunt for locations, it takes me 6 months to find one. And now knowing how bad some of these relationships are going to be. And so I don't know, I think I might get back into it, but right now the job's good with Diaco International. So, really good. So I've just kind of taken a break and letting it run itself, and it kind of manages itself for the most part. So
I think being an employee is probably pretty solid right now with all the COVID crap, right? Because I mean, being a business owner is a little rough right now, but yeah, it is what it is, right? You were talking about Diaco International. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that, because what you're doing there, what the company does.
Yeah, well, really, I'm a contractor. That's kind of better way for me to set up business. So it's still a U.S. based business, and I'm paid out of the U.S. and everything. But Diaco's a Taiwan based company, and they manufacture cardio equipment. So they do treadmills, recumbent bike, and it's a publicly traded company here in Taiwan. I think they're about 500 million US dollars. They're pretty big.
Okay. Oh, that's a big boys. Big boys, yeah.
Big boys
and girls. Yeah.
My boss is she's a girl, so really good boss. And so I do commercial sales. So Diaco is probably more famous for their residential brands and stuff. And so they own Spirit Fitness, Soul, and Xterra, and those all have home use stuff. I mean, you can find them in Dick's Sporting Goods, and sometimes you'll get them at Costco or wherever. You buy them online. And then there's they do call vertical markets, which are for like residential, multi-family residential and hotels and stuff like that. And that's a kind of an in between, like sturdy but not super sturdy. And then there's fully commercial, and I do fully commercial. So I'm vice president of sales for direct commercial sales in the United States. So we do gyms and studios.
Okay, I mean, how is it in the States? I mean, now you're in the States, in California, right?
Yeah. Yep.
California's opened up again, right?
Yep.
So how is it now? I mean, I think it's kind of past all the COVID craziness, right? In the States.
Kind of. For the most part. Like Costco now is doesn't require that you wear a mask anymore, but I would say 7 out of every 10 people probably still do. You got 3 out of 10 that walk around. Yeah. So, and I still wear mine when I go in, just because it's like I've just gotten used to it, and I mean, they are spreading, so I figure I'll just give it a little, kind of like we're talking about opening up our places. I'll just be a little bit cautious and wait a little bit, and then I mean, I'm not too worried. And actually, I'm probably more worried about worrying other people than myself. I really don't care if I wear one, but then I realize I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, so I wear it.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
I mean, in Taiwan, I think one of the successful points was, I mean, as soon as they said, I mean, some people wear masks anyway, which is crazy. So if it's cold, they'll wear a mask. If they've got a pimple, they'll wear a mask. If they've got a sore throat, they'll wear a mask. So it's people are so easy to wear masks here. And I mean, now I'm used to it. I mean, even when it wasn't sort of semi-locked down, you still had to wear masks in the supermarkets and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the key points for Taiwan, because here they actually, I mean, the number, like I said, it was 500. I think we peaked at 500 about maybe 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, and I think today was like 17 or 18.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing they're supposed to July 12th is supposed to be the last day. They just extended it to the 26th, which is okay, but there's supposed to be some wiggle room for restaurants, gyms, and stuff like that. So I really don't know. I mean, I think there's a press conference tomorrow. They'll talk about it more tomorrow, but yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So, in the US, everything's kind of getting back to normal, where now Taiwan's finally taking the hit. And so it's weird to see it, we finally get through it, and then Taiwan finally gets into it. That was a surprise. I thought they'd make it. Well, actually, I was wondering how they were going to step out of it, actually, because I figure you can only be a bubble for so long. And then when everybody else is fine, you're still kind of a bubble in a different way. Now you're a vulnerable bubble. So I thought something would happen at some point. So,
well, I know that they had a lot of vaccines and nobody wanted them. I mean, everyone's like, hey, we're safe. We're not taking no vaccines. AstraZeneca kills old people, blah, blah, blah. There was all these, whatever propaganda or whatever the word is. And then there was actually a theory where they were saying all these like millions of AstraZeneca vaccines were going to expire at the end of June. And then all of a sudden it comes. So, I mean, there's all these theories and stuff.
Yeah, the conspiracy. Well, the boogeyman isn't real. And, everybody knows who he is because he makes you stay in bed. So, I mean, people in authority do make things up to drive people to behave in certain ways. So who knows?
It's true. It is true, man. I just think I thought we were there. I thought we were home free. I thought, by July, August, that, people would start to get vaccinated, and by the end of the year, we'd be good, herd immunity, and then they could open up again. But, it just takes a couple people to kind of wreck it, which is why I'm kind of worried, because, again, if we open everything up again, it just takes a couple people again to put us back, because I think there's been a lot of financial difficulties for a lot of businesses. There are some stimulus packages from the government. We didn't get anything. We're still waiting on our June. I mean, our June was pretty crap. July is looking pretty crap. May wasn't that bad because the first week and a half when it was normal, we were packed. That's one of our busiest months of the year. So May we didn't qualify. June we're still waiting, hopefully. And then then you hear foreigners don't get, they don't qualify if the foreigner owns a business, and then it's like, oh, APRC, yes. And it's crazy. It's a pretty crazy situation. Yeah.
Actually, I was going to look into that when I get home. I don't know what the policy is on that. So I thought my understanding at one point was that they'll offer you $45,000 per employee. Is that true, or is that
supposed to be 40? I believe it's 40, but if it's a Taiwanese employee, so I have Taiwanese employees, but not all of them are. I kind of, whoever wants to work, whoever's willing to work. I have some guys from Indonesia, Philippines, obviously Taiwan. My head kitchen guys from Turkey. I got a girl from Russia. I got like a pretty big mix. It's good. I mean, things are good, man. It would be nice if there was a little bit of a little stimulus package for us, because we do pay a lot of taxes, quite a bit. But it seems they've helped a lot of places that just that maybe just closed. I mean, they got it right away. We're still 7 days a week. We're still pushing. I just shipped some tamales to Yonghe today. I mean, so we're hustling. I mean, it's hard for me. I can't just stop. I feel we got to keep going. This is my wife and I. We work here full time, so it's kind of our only thing, and we got to make it work, right?
Yeah,
so it's been all right. It's been all right, man. But we'll see how it goes. Goes.
Well, I'm hoping to get a little bit of that stimulus when I get back. So Peggy's my wife. She's the manager of the gym. She pulls the salary. So now we're closed. We had to close all the way. So hopefully, we'll see.
Well, I think because you had to close all the way, I think gyms and that you should get something. You should be able to get it. But man, I hope so. Anyways, I mean, it's nice to see. I know some friends that have schools and stuff like that, and they, I mean, they're still working, they're still hustling, but they haven't got anything. I mean, it's really it's a kind of a weird situation, to be
Why
honest.
not why not the schools? I mean, because they could do online, or
I think so. I'm not sure. And there are schools that are doing online, but I mean, are you going to make the same money? It's like me with to go. I mean, am I going to make the same money with to goes as I would with, you know, an 80-seat restaurant with, you know, draft beer and margaritas and stuff? There's no contest, right?
Yeah.
So you were talking about the 80-20 rule, right? So do you have any sort of business gurus or any business books that you kind of want to recommend? Something that your go-to?
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't read so many self-help books anymore, but I don't know. Back in the day when I was
you used to? Yeah.
Doing sales training and stuff, I used the sales Bible. Sales Bible is a pretty good one. Tells you everything about how to.
I've never heard of that
how
one.
to talk to people, and I mean, if you're into sales, if you're not into sales, it's probably not as big of a deal. But I mean, I didn't just do sales; we had to teach people how to sell. So knowing the techniques and the stuff is very helpful. You know, if you're just doing it for yourself, I think most good salespeople are just naturally good salespeople. They don't really need to read. But
sales is tough to teach, man, for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna look at that with the sales Bible. To be honest, every business has an aspect of sales. I mean, I'm a restaurant. People come in, you know, they're looking at the menu outside. We need to bring them in so that they eat. You know, people are sitting down. They're going to order a Coke. We have to upsell them to a beer or to a margarita, something like that, so we can make sort of our profit, right? Sure. So I think every business has sales. So if there is some way to make the sales easier, and I mean, for me, when I do it, everyone's like, oh, hey, Lauban, hey, yeah, let's get a picture of a lager or whatever, right? It's no problem. But for me to pass that skill onto somebody else, it's tough. It's a tough thing to teach. Yeah. Especially here when Taiwanese people are very quiet and they're very timid and they're like really buhaoese, so they don't want to say anything. You know, like for example, my American friends, they have you know, their beers, you know, there's this much left in their glass. They don't want to be asked, hey, you want another beer? And then they'll just, give me another one. Yeah. But it's hard to teach that because a Taiwanese person, if you say, hey, do you want another beer? They'll be like, the hell, this guy's trying to make me spend more money because I still have beer here, you know? So it's weird. Yeah. And we're about 50-50. I mean, we get obviously a lot of Taiwanese people in, obviously a lot of expat people in, and it's different. I mean, almost every country has their own custom. So if there's any ways any tips, I would love to pass the skills on to my guys. I mean, upselling, right, is exactly what you're talking about. And I mean, you've been doing it forever, so you'll know better than I. So, you know, working at the gym, I mean, we do a pretty straight negotiation, right? Like sit down, people, take them on the tour, do the fitness profile, get some ammunition on them, find out what their weaknesses are, what their strengths are, and then use a trainer for a TO to come in and build value. And, you know, I mean, it's a very careful process. And I worked for 24-hour fitness back in the day, and they were like that was like the militant wing of sales for the gym industry. And they had like boot camp, and I mean, it was very rigid. Wow. It was very sales. Well, that's a sales style we brought to World's Gym. They wanted the 24-hour model. You know, they didn't want the laid back, passive, let people just, and look what they did. They're over 100 gyms now, right? They're huge. They're huge. They're super pushy, but they're huge.
Well,
the reason that's it. Yeah.
The reason why they're huge is because they're super pushy. You know, and when I came, they had 3 locations, and I started with them very early on. And one of the things I used to talk to people, and they were like, you know, you guys are so pushy. And I remember talking to them about when we were about 20, I'm like, you know, I mean, the market chooses our model. I mean, World's Gym is not large despite itself. It's in spite of itself, it's large because the model works. And that's what people join up with. And no matter how bad their reputation is, no matter how many people are like, oh, they overcharge me and whatever, they still keep signing up, and because they love it. They like that. Yeah. They like that huge chain. So that's it. That's all I can say is I don't feel sorry for anybody because everybody does it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, and it's just, that's what the fitness industry has been for so long. People just like take it or leave it. Yeah.
And I think here they rope you into the like 2-year, 3-year packages, right? And then I think, I mean, to be honest, I've been here for a long time. I've been here for a long time. They used to be California Fitness, and then World Gym came in. There used to be a bunch of different ones, and I think California came in and just kind of took over everything. You know. I mean, that's business, right?
I got here in 2006, and 2007 was when the housing bubble crashed. burst. And that was when Alexander's was the big
Yep.
gym scene in the day. And
I was going to mention that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I mean, basically, she had like 35 or 40 gyms throughout the country, so it was big, and there was no real competitor to her. But she did a prepaid model. So when I got here, World's Gym wanted to go away from prepaid, and they wanted to go down to making monthly payments because there's two things. One, you make more money when you take monthly payments.
Of course.
Prepaid. Anyway,
it's residual, right? It's like this residual. It's coming in every month. Yeah, it's the best.
And there's no liability. So when you have a gym and you get a 3-year prepaid membership, it's like everybody who does that is giving you a loan. So next thing you know, most of your membership, and that's what Alexander's did. They were top heavy on these things. Everybody prepaid their memberships. They were doing lifetime memberships for $45,000. They had so many people with lifetime these memberships, that they were basically, when the housing bubble crashed and nobody had any money and they were very cautious, they didn't have nearly enough money to come in paying their bills, but they had a lot of people still coming in and exercising. So they collapsed on themselves. And that's when, but back in those days, California Fitness and World's Gym were the two big ones.
I think I have an Alexander story. So I was teaching in Beto, and there was an Alexander gym there, and I hadn't signed up for anywhere yet. I mean, I had my California one, but it was not expired, but I could get out of it. So I was just moved out to the area, and I said, there's an Alexander gym there. It was beautiful. I mean, they really went all out, waterfalls and stuff at the front gate. You know, I went in, and this happened at many Alexanders that I went to, but this is the one I remember. So I went in, I looked at it, and there's this big waterfall. You can't see what's going on behind the waterfall. There's this waterfall. It's like a fortress. You can't get in. So I'm like, hey guys, how's it going? And they're just like, first of all, like, oh, no one speaks English. And then I speak a little bit. At that time, I spoke a little bit of Chinese. I'm like, I'm looking to get a membership. And they're just like, no. That's what they said. And I'm like, what? And they're just like, no. And they're just like, yeah, no. And I'm like, can I just pay like a drop-in? I'll pay for the day. It doesn't matter. I'll pay a drop-in fee. They're like, no drop-in. And I said, monthly. I'll pay like a week. I'll pay a month. I'll pay 3 months because I'm in the area and I'll use it for at least 3 months. And they're just like, no. And I'm like, so how can I get a membership? And they're like, you have to pay $100,000. And it was like, I don't know how many years of a package. And I said, okay, cool. Can I see the gym? And they're like, no. I'm like, what? I mean, what are you talking about? I can't. I'm like, okay, give me the tour. I mean, yeah, just give me the tour and then I'll make my decision. And they're like, no tour, no gym. You cannot see. And I'm like, so you want me to give you $100,000 without me seeing any equipment, any facilities, nothing? And they're like, yeah. And I'm just like,
what's going on?
How does that work? I mean, obviously when they went under, I was like, yeah, well, no surprise because it's ridiculous, right? And I was like, okay, so I'm like, well, what about? Okay, I mean, like I was blown away. I said, so no monthly. You want me to just pay everything now? And like, you want monthly? Go to California. And they just kind of like,
yeah. Well, they were the prepaid kings, and that's what killed them. They were so that $100,000 one was probably a lifetime membership. They were only letting you, if you want to join, lifetime membership, but it killed them. So it's better when you run a gym. It's way better to do monthly dues and not do prepaid. Prepaid gives you cash up front, which is kind of that portion's addictive. But on the other hand, it's you discount your membership so much that you kill your cash flow. So
well, I think the lifetime is crazy. I don't know how much you use online stuff, but there's a company called AppSumo that does sort of lifetime deals on software for new companies. And for example, I've bought, like for the one I'm using right now, it's called Restream. It's fantastic. When I started to do my live stream, I did all the research, and there was a new company called Restream where you were able to multi-stream to YouTube and Facebook and all this stuff. And I was looking at it, and it was between $10, $20, $30 US a month. And I said, okay, so I'll start it up and then I'll join Restream. So I'm going through this AppSumo and stuff like that. And I see Restream pop up on there. And I'm like, is that the same one? And I did the research, and it cost me about $60, I think, $60 or $80 lifetime. I've been using it for 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow. I mean, they keep sending me emails to be like, hey, do you want to upgrade to get this and that? And I'm like, I've already got everything. You know why now it's like, now why would I pay more? It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, right.
Why would I go to monthly when I've already paid a lifetime? It's paid itself off a long time ago, but now they must be thinking, shoot, man, because how are we going to get this guy to go monthly again? I mean, it's tough. Very tough.
Well, good thing that when you're a software company, I mean, your brick and mortar is so small. Like you could have 100,000 people around the world and you still have one office. You don't have to keep increasing. So I don't know. I mean, but yeah, once you've got them and they paid, they're done. And then they're not. Yeah. So of course, the best people to sell to are the people that are already using your service. So try to find ways to upgrade them or upsell them. I could see that. I mean, you're going to always try to do some internal marketing. So.
For sure, dude. So do you have, any like, sort of idols or anyone in your industry or any sort of entrepreneur that you kind of look up to? Like, do you have somebody that you kind of like a Gary V or a Robert Kiyosaki, somebody like that, where you're like, hey, I gotta watch this guy. He's the good stuff.
Not really. I've never I remember being a kid, like, who's your hero? I don't know. I don't have any hero. I've never had those, but I mean, I have a lot of people I admire. I've had some mentors. I mean, I don't have any, like, I can't think of any person that I would, everybody knows. I go, this guy, I want to be like this guy. Okay. I have some people that I work with.
Elon Musk or something, you know what I mean?
I mean, Elon Musk is cool. I mean, and he's very cool in his own way. Yeah. So, but I mean, he's nothing like me, so I can't look up to him that way. He does some really cool stuff. No, I mean, like, I worked with a lot of people. I had always admired the ones that worked really hard and were really committed to their job, and obviously the ones that had high skill. So I've been in the fitness industry my whole life, so I worked with some people. I remember, like, this guy Jeff Skeen. He was always a very good business guy. All his employees always really liked him. Always had a smile on his face, and so people like that, I like to emulate. And I remember my good bosses, things like that. Yeah, Elon Musk is pretty amazing just as a figure. I mean, I don't know, podcast wise, do you ever watch Lex Friedman? I don't know if you ever watched.
I actually seen his shows on Joe Rogan, and he's pretty good, man. I haven't seen his actual one, but I think recently in the last month or so, I'm a big UFC fan, right? So GSP went on, right, recently in the last month or so. So I got to check that out. He looks like a smart guy, man. When he's on there with Rogan, it's like, wow, he's a smart guy.
When he has his own podcast, and I watch his, I mean, I watch him more than Rogan. I think Rogan's great, but his are 3 hours long, and he does,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
So I more or less watch like the little 7-minute pieces, the highlights of what he's
doing. Those are great.
Yeah. So I watch some Rogan, but I mean, I watch a lot of Lex Friedman. I just like his, he's in MIT, went to MIT, artificial intelligence. So he's a really smart guy, born in Russia. So anyways, he's one of my favorite podcast guys. He's probably one of the few that I watch regularly. Not regularly. I don't watch the whole thing. Sometimes I get caught into the whole thing, but usually bits and pieces. But I watch him a lot. He's good. Okay,
I'll have to check his out. I've seen his episodes with Rogan, and I love Rogan. Obviously, his episodes are really long, but definitely. I mean, so what I do is when I'm doing I'll be making dough, for example, for me to get tortilla dough from ingredients to all the balls separated to pressing takes a few hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours. So what I'll do is I'll put a Bluetooth speaker out and I'll do it and I'll listen to Rogan. And I've had pretty good episodes. I'm a big Rogan fan. Obviously, I'm a big UFC fan, and Rogan is as well. Go ahead. Yeah. Lex
Friedman is also into MMA. So I mean, very into it. So, I mean, he does some stuff on that too. So he's So, I mean, he's kind of in that field.
Well, he had GSP on. So I think, I definitely check that out, man.
Yeah. Cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
So,
bro.
And I think Joe Rogan is everybody loves him. Like, I see every person who does a podcast in the world's on his show. I mean, and people who do, there's this one, this show, I don't watch the news much anymore because this news is terrible.
It's all bullshit. I know it's all bad, right? Yeah. I never watch the news. It's all bad.
Well, there's these two people, Saget and Crystal. They're from The Hill, and Joe Rogan has Saget on. He's a really smart. I love watching their show because she's just a little bit left of center. He's a little bit right of center. And then they don't argue. They just tell the stuff and they kind of bash everybody equally. So anyway, so I don't watch them much, but that's it. Those are the really two things I watch. But they're always on Joe Rogan, and both of them are always talking about Joe Rogan. So Joe Rogan's king, right?
He's the king, right? I mean, that Spotify deal, 100 million, right? I mean, he just moved to Texas because California was shut down at the time. So I think Rogan is I think he inspired a lot of people to do more things for sure. But you were saying one more thing I wanted to say. You were saying you getting up at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. now. Is that jet lag, or is that just like you want to start your day early? What's up?
Yeah, well, so I mean, I live way out in the middle of the desert, really. So like way out in the middle of the desert, like probably the nearest city is about 6 or 7 miles away. I live in a little kind of a resort, hot spring resort. So coyotes all around at night. So I don't know. There's nothing else to do. We go into town on Saturday or Sunday. Go shopping, go to Costco, stop by a restaurant, and then come back with all of our supplies and stay in all week. And so it's kind of, I don't know, just go to bed early and wake up early. So it's nice. When I'm in Taiwan, I think I tend to stay up a bit later because you're in the city. There's more going on, more to do. So it's part of that. But it's kind of nice to get up and get your day going too.
So yeah, no, I think there's obviously another guy that's been on Rogan is a guy called Jocko Willink. He's a big, if you follow him on Instagram, every morning he's got like a picture of his watch at like 4 a.m. and he's up and he's doing his thing. It's just like, and I actually did that. I tried that for about a month, getting up at 5, and it's actually, it helps a lot, man. I think it's good. I got to get back into it. I usually fall out of it when it comes to the summer because, my daughter, she's going to sleep in, my wife's sleeping in, everyone's sleeping in. So you don't have that. It's on me for sure, but there's not that pressure of like, I got to take my daughter to school. I got to make her breakfast. I got to do this. So it's like, that's when, summer gets lazy for sure. But I got to, now the gyms are closed. If you're outside, you have to run with a mask. I did that a couple of times, and the mask is just like on your face. Yeah. It's, hard to breathe. Some people are still doing it, man, but I feel like I'm choking. So, I started just walking. I mean, I started jujitsu a while ago. That's going pretty well. I like that. But obviously everything is closed right now. So it's, it's kind of crazy, man. But so what are you doing during the week? I mean, you're saying you stay in all week. You're working from home type deal, or?
Yeah, I work from home remotely. I've worked remotely probably for the last 5 or 6 years. 6 years. So and so it's nice. I mean, so I work from home. I got one of our Johnny G bikes at home. I can connect it up and ride. Do it. It's a stationary bike. Do that. We go like I said, we're out in the country. So my wife and I go for a 3-4 mile walk every day. That's part of our routine. We right before, actually usually after dinner, we go and walk and try to make it and just about sunset because it gets up to 123 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not sure what this Celsius wise, 50 some degrees Celsius.
Oh, like really? Shoot. Okay. Yeah. So it's hotter than Taiwan then. Yeah.
Way hotter. Yeah. Way up, but it's dry. Wow. It's dry hot. It's dry. So it's like, you've been to Vegas?
I have not, man. It's on the bucket list, man. I got to catch a UFC in Vegas one of these days.
Oh, for sure.
But how's your wife doing with the move to the States? Does she like it?
Kind of. She likes it better in Taiwan, but she's also a bit of an introvert. So when we're back there, it's very peaceful and quiet, and she can spend a lot of time at home and not seeing too many people. When we're here, I like to go out, go hang out with my friends, do more stuff, and she gets tired. But when we're there, so she's kind of balanced, best of both worlds. There's things she really likes about being in the U.S. and things that she really likes being over there.
It's kind of when you're here, you're kind of the stay-home guy, right? And then when you guys are there, she is,
Yeah, exactly. Kind of goes back the other way. But I get really restless being here. So because I actually like more activity and being around more stuff and doing more things. So and the reason we ended up moving out there in the desert is my parents live out there, and my dad was having health issues. So we moved out there to kind of help with that. So we ended up buying the place next to theirs. So now my mom is my next door neighbor. So that's kind of what took us out there. And and so I don't know, you've been here a long time, and watching your parents grow old and get old is weird. And then of course with the health stuff, so then I realized I want to spend more time with mom. So the purpose of being in the US really is to spend time with mom. So that's it. Live next to her, and we live out in the middle of nowhere. Hopefully she'll move back into a city someday.
I think that's tough. I mean, whenever I go back only every few years, and Yeah, it's tough. You see your parents, everybody's getting older. Your sister, her kids are getting, they're older. The kids don't really know you anymore.
Right.
It's sad. It's a sad thing, man. I mean, I gotta get back more. I gotta get back more because I definitely miss that. And when I leave Canada every time, it's like a big depressing feeling for me because I don't know when I'm going to go back. I don't know when I'm going to see my family again. I don't know if I get to see my family again. So it's pretty tough. I mean, the only saving grace for me was having a kid. When I had my daughter here, it kind of, I mean, obviously no one can replace family, but when you have your own little baby, that's kind of that's the trump card. You kind of, for lack of a better word, that trumps everything, right? And you got your baby there, and you're just like, you're growing this little human. It's pretty awesome, man. But before that, I would definitely go through these states of being, like depressed. I mean, I think my third or fourth year with the business, we were like broke. We had no money, and I told my wife, it was like, I once in a while, like every few years, I'd wake up in the middle of the night, like all teared up after a nightmare, and I'm like, what is going on? Yeah. And I just like, I have to tell my wife, I'm like, I got to go home for a couple of weeks. Just got to go. Yeah. So at that time it was tougher because, credit cards are helpful at that time, when you don't have any money, you're just like, I'll swipe it and I'll pay it off slowly. But you got to get back, man. It's rough. My idea was to go this year, hopefully Christmas. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. See, I mean, I think everything's fine in the US now. It's just, if you're going to try to come back to Taiwan, you got to plan ahead on that. You got to wait till everybody there is vaccinated. So, yeah, well, some people love the fact that you have to go home every 3 months and live here every 3 months, but I say it's too much. Like, it's nice to have a home somewhere, but since we do this every 3 months, it almost feels like we never really set roots down anywhere. So it's a bit too much. So
I understand. Okay.
One of the reasons we're doing it also is that we're working on my wife's citizenship, and she's nearly done. I mean, we're just waiting for her. We've applied already. We had to go through the whole green card thing and do all that stuff and did citizenship. Yeah. And then now she's got to do her interview, and then we're done. But that takes like 8 or 9 months. And then once he's got that, then we're still going to go home, obviously. But I mean, so we need to be a resident in the United States for 6 months of every year. So that she can get her. Once she's got her citizenship, then, then we'll probably come back for like a month at a time, maybe every few months, or like, twice a year, something like that. So
are you still preferring it here then, or you're thinking you'll be here more there? Okay. One more question.
I want to retire in Taiwan, and healthcare is amazing.
Yeah,
you're from Canada, so you don't know. In the US, healthcare is so bad. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
I didn't know that until I opened a restaurant and I met all these Americans, and they told me all these horror stories, and I was like, I just figured it was the same as Canada, because Canada, US is pretty similar, right, in a lot of ways, and I guess healthcare, it's not.
No, it's really, it doesn't make any sense. If you were to go, I mean, and, most Americans don't know any better, and you hear the stuff, and hey, this is how it is, and it's like this, and we have the best healthcare in the system in the world, but we don't actually. I mean, I've had operations here, like a hernia operation, and so I mean, I've had to do anesthesia and do all that stuff. I love Taiwan healthcare system. Go to the doctor, get your medicine, whatever it is, it costs you nothing. And then and you're an employer, so from an employer standpoint, I pay both sides of the healthcare for my wife and I, and it's still not even a drop in the bucket. I could pay $700 US dollars for my wife and I still have to pay $2,500 deductible for each of us before the health insurance kicks in. So after paying $700 a month, I still have to pay the first $2,500 out of my pocket. So
it's crazy, man.
It makes no sense. Yeah.
It does not, man. So I want to ask you one more question. We'll go back one more time to the gyms, the all cardio fitness. Why did you start it in Tainan? Because it seems like that would work anywhere, and obviously with the population in Taipei, what caused you to start it down south?
Well, I'd already been in Tainan for a while, so I didn't go. I didn't come down here to start it. I'd already opened the gyms with my partner and sold those, and moved on from that. And then it was about a year after that, and then I'd already met my wife, and so I was kind of I grew.
She's from Tainan.
She's from Tainan. Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
I mean, honestly, well, the other reason is just rent can be pretty cheap here. Like, I think if you go to Taipei, get a place, it's probably a lot less forgiving. But yeah, so my first location was the second floor above a Family Mart. And nobody, if you've ever seen the second floor above a Family Mart, they're usually full of stuff and nobody uses it. But I bought it, and it's right over the Family Mart, and it's got these kind of nice glass pane windows overlooking a park and a kind of I think it's a Catholic school. It's at least some religious school. It's like I think it's Catholic. It's the brick building, really nice looking one. And
sounds good.
I negotiated the lease on that. It was $5,000 was my lease.
Holy crap! Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So, wow.
I don't think you would find anything like that in Taipei. Period.
Oh, no, I mean, definitely not. Yeah.
My place, and that's probably 18, maybe 15 to 18 ping. So I mean, you can't find apartments like you find apartments in Taipei. They're going to cost. Well, I remember I had a on the rooftop. I had an apartment that was probably smaller than what I have right now. I think I was paying 18 for it. So this is, and so
okay, that makes sense. Yeah. No, rent is crazy up here, man. I mean, like, okay. Yeah, no, for me, like I was asking because like my wife is from Miaoli. Yeah. But I mean, we love Miaoli, but I mean, this restaurant would not work in Miaoli. You know what I mean? Like, so we'd be out of, and all the relatives that come and they'd be like, you should open one in Miaoli. And I'm like, we'll be out of business in like 6 months, because Miaoli's a tough nut to crack for sure. So we have to be in this area, so that's why I was curious, bro. Yeah.
Was that why is that the main reason why you guys lived there? Because you guys were always there, but I would think also as a foreigner, it's kind of nice to be a little bit closer to the center. There's more resources for you. And if you live in Miaoli, there's much less resources, like people wise, or if you want certain ingredients or going to the store and getting cheese back in the day.
Oh, forget it. Yeah. So I came here a long time ago alone, and I met my wife. I can't maybe third or fourth year here. We were friends for a long time. We were living out in Danshui. Same thing. We figured, we want to get something going on out here. Some good food. My wife wanted to do a coffee shop. I told her that's a tough one because first of all, there's a lot of them already, and second of all, I drink coffee. Like I'll drink it, but kind of like socially.
Yeah.
Or if I'm super exhausted, like I'll drink coffee a couple times a month, and it's like, but I can go months with no coffee. It doesn't bother me at all. So for me to open a coffee place would feel like living a lie. I mean, and I can't do that.
No,
I can't. Like I've had a friend of mine who was importing coffee beans from Panama, his family's farm, and he poured me like one of those, I don't know where they get the hot water and the little filter thing into a cup. He poured me that, and that was incredible. It really was really hearty, really meaty, best coffee I've ever had. But it was really the first time I had good coffee because I mean, I can get Starbucks or most of the other places and they all kind of taste the same. They don't taste that different to me because I'm not a coffee connoisseur guy. So for me, like to get coffee and to be like, I'm the coffee guy now, it's a lie. So I couldn't do it. I said, my family's Mexican, that you had my mom's food. If you want to try, that's where we can meet kind of halfway. And then lo and behold, it became this. Yeah.
And I understand coffee is one of those things too, right? You gotta know what you're doing, or you gotta love what you're doing because people can taste it. They can taste the fact that it's like a connoisseur. If you know how to, if you love it, you know how to make it taste. So
sure.
That.
And I mean, for me, I love food, right? And I love eating good food, and so for me, food is important. It's food, right? I like to go out for good food. I like to try to provide like what my family grew up with. And so for me to just do coffee, it would be tough. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I don't like coffee. I love getting a cold brew. I mean, what is it? Once a month. Pre-COVID, we show the UFC pay-per-views. I'll go just down the street. I'll grab like a cold brew and a couple of, scones or whatever. I'll watch the prelims by myself. And then, it packs out for the main event. But yeah, I mean, that's usually it. Unless I'm super exhausted and I got to get up early and make dough or something, then I'll probably grab a coffee. But aside from that, I don't really drink it. Yeah.
I understand that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So have you gotten Dino on one of these yet?
Have I gotten what? Sorry?
Have you gotten Dino on a podcast yet?
I did, man. I got, Dino was the last one before COVID. I mean, we were chatting about, we were actually talking about going out to the beach to visit him during summer break because my daughter loves the beach. His son is, they practically live at the beach, right? So they'll be out at the beach daily.
Mm-hmm.
And then, about 2 days after that, it kind of the level 3 thing kicked off and we're still chatting and stuff, but I hope that we can salvage some of the summer and get out there. We'll even rent a little hotel out there, man, just for like a weekend and just, lie on the beach. And the beach, getting to a beach, as soon as you take your shoes or your sandals off and your feet hit that sand and you get that ocean water, it's great. Yeah. It's one of the best things. It's like, I don't know, it's like meditation almost. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. You just feel really earthed and just grounded and stuff. So I want to get out there. My wife definitely needs it. We haven't taken a break through this whole craziness. So these few days where it's been a little bit slower, I've told her, just stay home. If we need help, then I'll call you. But yeah, it's been a little bit slow, which sucks, but she's been able to stay home and kind of chill. So that's good. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. The beach is great. Back in those days when I was going to your place, I think I was also, that's where I met Dino. I was living at Baishawan. I had a place up there on the cliff up at the top. It was a really cool place. But I'd see Dino out there every morning. And that's when Alex was here. Alex was staying. Yep. Over at my apartment and play PlayStation. And anyways, but I love that beach right there. And you can go, they have
great beach,
bed and breakfast right above the shops that are there on the beach near where, remember Barefoot? What was it called now? Though?
Barefoot Bar or something. And now it's a Dazzlers, right? Dazzlers.
Yeah. I've been dying to go there, check it out. But
it's a great place, man. Yeah, and actually, they just some craft beer friends of mine. They just opened a little beach spot about 2 weeks, I think, before this whole craziness happened. So it's a good area, man. So we definitely want to get out there. I have beer here. I can drink beer. I'm the same with beer. I love a good pint, but I don't have to. Like I don't think I've had any beer for the whole COVID thing. Maybe like one, just chatting with people, but that's about it. Yeah. And I can go. I'm pretty disciplined with that stuff. The one thing I have been missing is the exercise. I got to get back on that because I can feel the quarantine bod coming. Even though I'm working my ass off, I've been exercising. Yeah.
Well, everything opens up. Gyms open up on Monday, right? Supposedly Monday or Tuesday.
I hope so, man. Let's see. I'll keep you posted on that and let you know how it's going. I would guess World Gym would be the first. They're gonna open their doors right away, I guess.
Yeah, they're losing tons of money. Sure.
Yeah, they must be. They must be. Yeah. I don't even know if they're charging still, man. Who knows? I haven't even checked my credit card bill.
It's World's Gym.
Yeah, I'm sure they're still charging. Yeah, they're still charging for sure.
They're not going to ask. They're going to do it and then ask.
Yeah, they're just going to do it. Yeah, and then wait for the people that want refunds, right?
Well,
and the people that don't notice, they're just going to keep it. Yeah,
they'll try to pretend they didn't hear the phone ring for about the first 2 months, and then the real persistent ones might get it. Yeah, that's the way they do it.
That's World Gym.
Yeah,
for sure. I wonder where they learned that, man.
When I worked there was all sorts of shady stuff going on. Just can't tell you the way they were charging people, and I'd have all my members call, hey, you guys charged me 2 weeks early. And I'm like, what? Oh, we charged you? And then I guarantee you it was on purpose because they were opening a new gym. And then 2 weeks later, they'd still charge me again. Oh, whoops. They do stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, so.
I remember my wife actually had a lifetime membership there for $45,000. And so, but I think it was California. And so apparently when World Gym took over California, they were honoring all that, but you had to come within like 30 days. Mm-hmm. If you didn't come to 30 days, it was just gone. So nobody knew that. Right. And my wife hadn't been going to the gym at that time. So she shows up a few months after and hey, I got my lifetime. And they're like, no, you're supposed to come within 30 days. And my wife was like, well, where does it say that? They're just like, nope. So she lost her lifetime. It was kind of funny, but stupid at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how they roll. It's always something that's really walking the line, but
it's crazy. Yeah. It's fucking nuts, dude. Nuts.
Cool. I'll have to watch that podcast with Dino. I didn't realize you had him on already. So
yeah, cool. I'll send you a link, man. It was awesome, brother. Yeah. Dino it's always a pleasure having Dino, and he's good, bro. He's a good guy. Yeah. But when you come back into town, man, we'll come by. We'll do another one. We'll get the wings in there. I have a couple beers, man. I got some good wings, man.
I tell my wife, she goes, oh, you're going to be on there today. I was like, yeah. And she's like, are you guys going to do the hot wing challenge? I would love to do that. I love spicy food. And I know that's going to be killer, but I'm game for that. I love the pain of spice. So it'll be fun.
I got some good ones, man. I mean, the inspiration was obviously Rogan, combined with a little bit of hot ones, right? I actually had the hot one sauces on a couple times, and I mean, there were some hot ones. They were hot, but the flavor wasn't quite there. Yeah. I mean, I think mine are better, but it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, you can be the judge though. Yeah. So the next time you're in town, you got to let me know, and we'll have you by, man.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Yeah, for sure. I'll let you know.
That sounds good, brother. But I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. Yeah. And hopefully we'll see you in August, man.
Yeah. Well, thanks for inviting me. I do a webinar every month as well for my for opening your own gym or studio program. And
okay. Send me a link. Yeah. Well, I'd love that, man. Yeah. I
want to do one webinar that's about if people, a lot of gyms do pro shops or things like that where they're doing smoothies and but there's a lot of things that gym owners, it takes a lifetime of learning how to run a restaurant to do inventory and inventory systems, to know how to make money out of serving something, a consumable. And for sure, gym owners don't have any idea how that works. So I would love to get like expert advice on like, hey, if you're gonna open your own place, this is how you handle inventory. That would be great.
Yeah, I'd love to do that, man. My pleasure. It'd be an honor to do it. I actually saw that. I saw you were doing some webinars on there. I forgot to ask about that. We're just chatting so much. It was good. Well, we'll chat about that when you come and do the wing show. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And I'll send you a link to those. You should check them out. And like I said, we do like content videos, which are little 5-6 minute pieces, but then we do like an hour.
Beautiful.
We always have a guest on every one. So yeah, we'd love to have
beautiful. Yeah. Let me know. I'd love to do that, man. Okay. Sounds good. But appreciate you for coming on, doing the show. Everybody who's watching, thank you guys for watching. If you have comments, leave them below. If you have questions, I'll get them to Brent Brown, entrepreneur over here. And the link to All Fitness, right?
All Cardio Fitness.
All Cardio Fitness is down below. Sorry, my brain is spinning, man. It's been a long day. All Cardio Fitness. I got the Facebook link below. And we're good to go, bro. Thanks for that. And we'll see you guys next time. Yeah. Take care, guys.
Nice catching up.